All right, well, welcome into the studio. I am going to be doing my first clean slate journal layout, playing in this clean slate of a paper bag art journal, junk journal really. It has tons of different stuff in it. So I really am just going to be selecting pages to work in. I'm not necessarily going to always work in order. It's just not how I work. I just like to choose and select from something that inspires me. So I think I'm actually going to start right here in the center of my third signature. And I'm going to start off just to minimize some of the leak through because I can get wet. I don't even know what I'm going to do in here, but I am going to go ahead and tape up the center so it doesn't leak through to any of the other pages. And this is where I'm going to start, right here on this Children in Music page. Now this is a vintage page from a vintage book. And that's where I'm going to get started. I just pulled out some stuff that's left over from other playings. I have a basket that's like overflowing of bits that I've been collecting. So I'm going to try and work out of this a little bit more often. I've been trying to do that. So I think I'm going to pull from this. Actually, this just caught my eye. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just work. I find it really challenging to work intuitively while I'm trying to explain what I'm doing. So I am going to just start collaging this down, and I'm going to speed this up and do a voiceover. This brush I'm using is a Princeton Select flat brush, and I love it for doing collage work because it is really firm, and it does on thinner papers, it does a great job of getting the air bubbles and wrinkles and stuff out of it. Otherwise, if it's a heavier paper, I generally go to using like a credit card or something like that where I can apply additional pressure. But it is one of my favorite go-to supplies, tools, if you will. I do have listed down below all the products I'm using today, and some of those do have affiliate links, and I have a little bleep that explains affiliate links. But it is one way that if there's a product that you're wanting to purchase, if you use one of my affiliate links, I will get a very small compensation for that. But it just helps me to keep my YouTube channel running and keep supplies on my table so that I can provide content to you. So I do appreciate whenever you use those. Thank you. If you're not familiar with the Clean Slate journal that I'm working in, this is a paper bag junk journal that I created for myself. And when I was creating it, I got really carried away and really into the process of curating the papers, and I just kept going. And I made quite a few of these. So I do have them in my shop. I do have the link down below to my shop. But if you want to play with me for the Clean Slate series during the year of 2023, or forever, however long, however many of them you want to, and want to get yourself one, they are listed below. Also, the we're going to be using, so when you post anything that you've created in your Clean Slate journal, even if you make yourself one, then use the hashtag Clean Slate Journal, and that way I can see what you're working on. So my kind of premise, if you've been around for a while, then you know this already, but my kind of premise is I prefer to do the covers last. And so I purposely left this cover just gessoed, and that's it. And I did that because I prefer to come back in and finalize the cover after I've done all the artwork in the pages. And then I let that kind of, the feeling that comes across, or the vibe that is coming from the journal itself, speak to me to decide what I'm going to do on the covers. So that's how that started. And then I thought, after I made all of them, I thought, oh, I might as well share these. So that's what's going on here. And if you have any questions or comments or concerns or suggestions or thoughts that you want to share with me, please do leave a comment down below. I do respond to those. All right, so now I have gone in with some Distress Oxide ink in Barn Door and used this pod stencil from Wow Studio. And then I've gone back in with the Finnabair crackle paste in white with the same stencil. I've just changed the direction that I'm using. And then I'm gonna let this dry naturally and not using my heat tool, because you get better crackles when you do that. And now I've tried to use my sprayer that has some coffee in it, but it just wasn't dark enough for me. So I went in with my espresso crystals, added a little water to it, and adding that to all the places that where that crackle paste is, because it's gonna go into the crevices and really make those cracks show through. It just really brings them out. I'm also gonna put it in some other areas too, because like it was smelling really good in there. Now I'm gonna add this gesso, and the wonderful thing about using these oxides or any of the Distress products is they are water soluble. It's also probably a frustrating thing too, but I like the unexpected, so usually it's pretty nice. And what I do know is that if I put gesso over the top of the Distress Oxide that I have on here, it is going to bleed through. So I'm gonna take advantage of that and get a slightly lighter color than that Rusty Hinge oxide ink that I had put down. So being that it's January, it is my daughter, who's my oldest child, her birthday is in January. And so in celebration of her, I was creating this page, and this little quote that I used is a little song that I used to sing to her when she was a baby. And I have typed it up on my vintage Smith Corona typewriter. And you'll see there was a mistake made in it, but I just left it in there, just gave it some character. So now I'm just putting together my focal point. Happy birthday to my Batia.